Hello, you guys. We are back with part two of Let's Talk About Sex, baby. And this particular
Go ahead.
this particular segment, we're going to be pretty much talking about the question that we usually hear or even have. If you don't test the waters, how would you know you're going to be sexually compatible when you say I do? So this is where we're going to again be transparent and what happened after we said I do and what God has shown us even in our marriage in regards to sex. So if you are interested in that information and how we can answer that question for you based on our experience, stay tuned. All right, babe. Are you ready? So, those who have not checked out part one, please do so. Click that info tab up there. Click it. Or you can also go down in the description box. I will have a link for you. That's the part two of this segment. I'm sorry, part one of this segment. This is part two of that segment. So we're going to be talking about sex. So again, for those who are new, thank you. And please make sure your babies are out of the room just in case. We don't really know what we're going to say, but just in case when you talk about sex, you really don't know what to expect, okay? So first of all, we just want to kind of let you know, yes, we are children of God, love the Lord, and sex is still, yes, an issue. There's three things that we can talk about that we know that will always be an issue: communication,
right,
money and sex. So today we're going to be talking about the sex component of our relationship and how God has shown us some very interesting things. So the question is, if we don't test the waters, babe, we didn't test the waters.
No, we did not.
How would we have known that we were sexually compatible?
It was trust in God.
That's the key.
That's the key. When you trust that God is putting you together with this person, okay, you have the testimony that goes along with it, how it happened, how God spoke to you. Okay, so you mean to tell me after all of that, you tell me that God is going to get you through all of this, and after y'all get married, now it's time to consummate the marriage, y'all are not going to be sexually compatible?
And even if you're not, let's say, God said, yes, this is your husband, this is your wife.
Yeah.
And then the first night, you're like, what? Lord, really? You done made a mistake. No. Just like anything else, you have to work through the process. This is where communication comes in. You have to now tell your mate what you like, what you don't like. And if you're afraid to explore that with your mate, then you have to ask yourself, okay, what's going on? So that's a big thing. Sex and communication comes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
So I'm not even saying if God put you together, God made a mistake because y'all not sexually active. No. He put you together it's a bigger picture than sex.
It's a growth thing.
Right.
It's a growth.
So you grow together. You're not going to know everything that your wife or your husband like.
Right.
You're just not going to know. So you don't know them sexually. Well, you may not, but for those who waited until you said I do, you're not going to know that aspect of your mate until you explore. So we went on I'm going to go back. Let's go back. We were standing at the altar, getting ready to, get married, of course, and say I do. And I remember, I think the whole time, we didn't hold hands. We were just...
We was afraid.
Now, we
was afraid.
About to say I do.
We both was afraid. Because we knew God did it, but...
And the pastor who was actually...
married us, he said, y'all ain't hold hands since y'all been up here. When y'all hold hands, we just had to hold hands because we was nervous.
We didn't realize that, so we held hands. And then, of course, it was you may kiss your bride. So we did that part.
Right.
So now, fast forward, we went on our honeymoon.
Mm-hmm. Lord have mercy, I was so afraid.
We went on our honeymoon to the Virgin Islands. Thank you, Miss Marilyn. You're awesome.
Thank you, Miss Marilyn.
She know who she is. And yes, I said your name. But it was a gift from my best friend, now / cousin.
Didn't even know they was cousin. That's another whole thing.
Another story.
Anyway.
So she blessed us with this this honeymoon, and we went. And the first night, did we do anything the first night?
Yeah, we did. But it took us a minute to
We laid there.
Yeah, we laid there. We did. We laid there. Because, first of all, coming from a man, I
didn't even want to go to the cabin, y'all. I remember that. I was like, ain't nothing else we can do tonight.
Yeah, because you remember, we didn't have no intimacy like in that level. So it was like, I was afraid.
The first time he see me naked.
Yeah.
The first time I see him naked. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm like,
first time I felt her body.
My stuff.
That way, yeah. First time she felt, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be, Go
ahead, say it.
Large enough, right. Or
men think that they might not be big enough.
I mean, that's a man's ego. That's just a man's ego now, and men don't understand. It has nothing to specifically do with all of that. It has to do with the foreplay, the foreplay way before that. So, I mean, we didn't. We was afraid. We was afraid to touch.
I have not done anything for 10 years.
Yeah, so we was we both was afraid.
Sex for 10 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm about to have sex with this man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
And I'm gonna have sexual intimacy with someone who God gave me.
I said
that pressure.
I told my friend at the time, I said it's gonna be some cobwebs and he's gonna need a bulldozer to get in there.
It was, but
so
just
we
like
laid
said,
there
we did.
for a minute. And
then nature took on. Yeah, I mean it was.
He didn't know how to touch me.
Yeah, we was. Yeah,
I didn't know what to do. I'm like,
I was afraid, y'all. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna please this woman, and I don't know what her expectations is, and all of that. And that right there, boy, that's a challenge for a man. That right there. That is a challenge in that bedroom.
Yeah.
When a man feel like that he can't do nothing in that bedroom,
he can't perform.
He can't. That's it. He shuts it down. He already knows it. Elvis don't left the building. He has no motivation. Yeah. So I'm like, man.
This is the difference between having sex with someone that's not your husband or your wife,
right,
versus having sex or making love to your spouse that God has given you.
That is a whole different thing.
Because when you finally jump over, the room, it wasn't even about that. Yeah. At that point, it was about us becoming one.
Right.
The focus wasn't so much of, are we, I can't even really articulate the feeling or even describe the feeling, but it was like knowing that God has sent this man to me and now we're able to do this. I think the most important part that I loved the most was that when we finished, there was no guilt.
Yeah.
There was no conviction.
Yeah.
The bed was undefiled.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go back and say, God, forgive me and cry my heart out. I'm messed up and I got to start all over again. I don't have to worry about consequences that come with, having sex before. That alone brought
the peace. Lord have mercy.
The peace of God, knowing that this was God and it was done the right way. When I tell you it was worth the wait, that's the feeling I'm talking about.
Right.
Knowing that God is pleased and He's smiling upon us, and then everything else will work out.
Oh, that's right. That's when you start working at the intimacy of how you enjoy each other, pleasing each other. But just that point right there, because at that moment, that's what we were thinking.
Right.
But then after we had consummated it, God was like, see that? This is not about that.
It wasn't a big deal.
I wanted to show you guys how peaceful you guys were going to be after you guys consummated the marriage. That's my glory. That's how my
Thank you,
glory is
Jesus.
manifested when it comes to me hooking two people up. You know, so yeah. But after that, then that's when you work on it. You know, that's when you kind of say, okay, now we're gonna try different things, and we're gonna be involved in different ways. You know, things that how she likes to feel, how I like to feel,
and that comes with. We're gonna be talking about that when we get into the marriage
yes,
episode.
Lord.
Right now, we're trying to stay in the single episode. But yeah, my husband, he's like, I can't wait till we get to the. But it's so much more before you say I do that you need to understand, especially when it comes to sex. There's nothing to worry about.
Right.
I know it's like, well, how are we gonna know? That's the world's thinking.
Right. That is the world's thinking. That is the world's thinking, y'all.
You are a new creature. Old things.
Be not conformed.
Old things pass away. Behold, all things become new. You're new. Your mind change should be new.
Yeah.
Transform your mind. You can't think that way. If you're going to trust God, you have to trust God all the way. 100%. You can't give him 99 and that 1% is sex. You don't give him.
Exactly.
No, give it to him all. Trust me. If God experienced everything when he was here on earth, do you think sex was left out?
He was tempted in all infirmities. He was.
In all, you guys.
He was.
He created the penis. He created the vagina.
Yep.
He knew the organs and how it was going to work. He knew this is how we reproduce. This is how you multiply and become fruitful. He knew how the sex part worked. He invented it. He's the creator of it.
That's right.
Dr. Ruth, nobody can tell us about sex. He's
better
the
than
sex.
He can. That's right. He's the sex therapist. He's the original and still is the sex therapist.
He's the sex doctor, the therapist. He made the anatomy. He knows it all.
He knows what you like. He knows what he likes. He knows what both of you guys like. He knows exactly. But you can't jump into it before you do the I do. You know, because you're not going to experience the glory part of it.
Right.
You know.
So that's pretty much all, you guys. We just want to kind of show you that question should not be a worry. If God hooked you guys up, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the journey. Don't let sex, be your main focus. Enjoy the journey. Glorify God in your relationship. And then when that day that you have your honeymoon is your first day, I guarantee you it's going to be awesome. Even if it's, it might be totally different or whatever. At that moment, you're going to understand the peace of God and not having to, like I say, feel guilty about anything. And then that's where marriage come in. Marriage is another ministry that you have to work on in every area of your life, including sex.
Right. The foundation, the foundation part of that, what you were saying about how, people, this is the way also that it was revealed to me as well. When you're not being intimate sexually with each other and you're courting one another, what it does, it builds up the foundation with you and your significant to be as well. The foundation of communication, learning that marriage is not just based on just the sex, that's it. But how about the communication and love and learning how to deal with each other, learning how to be
have intimacy without intercourse.
There you go. Having that intimacy without intercourse, because that's what truly marriage is built on, and what God has built marriage. It's the sole foundation of really communication and loving each other in spite of, unconditionally. Because even if something was to happen to one of you all physically, and you guys are not able to perform in the intimate sexually, guess what? You guys don't have nothing to fall back on to keep you together, because what kept you together was not the sex. It was the learning one another. It was the foundation part of it, and going through the obstacles while you're courting, as what we were talking about through the past videos, that how I lost my job, and while we hadn't even got married yet, but while we were planning for the wedding, and how I had to, I lost the job, and how I had to go to a temporary service, and how I had to move out of my apartment because I couldn't afford the apartment anymore, things of that nature like that, and how she stayed there. So those things were, she still was encouraging me, and that's what it's about, So now when we got to the consummating part, God allowed us to go through that part where we were able to build the foundation of what our marriage was going to be. So we can continue to fall back on that, because it's not about just the sex. It's about the foundation. You know, because, you know, something can happen to you physically and you're not able to perform in an intimate way, in that way. Right. Then what? You know, if you guys and that's what happens when you have intimacy with each other first before you get married.
And that's another video. We are definitely going to come back with a video in regards to consequences and what happens when you do have sex before you say I do.